Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. For today's second video, I've got a story with two updates from the subreddit family. So if you want to go ahead and get started with this story, then use the timestamps below the video. Of course, I would now like to thank all of you that support me as either YouTube members, Twitch subscribers, or donating during the live streams. Thank you all so much. And if this is the first time watching one of my videos and you like it, then consider subscribing to the channel and joining us on Discord. Now let's get started with today's stories. This story is from user MissionMud4483. Me, 33 male widower, and my daughter, 7 female, are starting a new blended family with my sister-in-law, 28 divorced female, and niece, 6 female. I'm a 33-year-old man, a widower and single father of a little girl who is 7. We lost my wife, Cheryl, to cancer in January of 2017 when my daughter was not quite 4 years old. I was devastated and overwhelmed with grief and fear of how I was going to raise my daughter, Sari, by myself. While I struggled with my grief, my sister-in-law, Brenda, was really there for me. At the time, she was married with a daughter, Abby, of her own who is a year younger than my daughter. My wife was her only sibling, and we were both dealing with this awful loss. I really leaned on her a lot during that first year because I'm not close at all with my own family. They are not really a great family, and about all I got from them was that this was all God's plan, so I must accept it and move on. In 2019, Brenda found out that her husband was cheating on her with her best friend, and he wanted to leave her. He never really wanted kids, and since my niece was born, had become really distant toward my sister-in-law. He decided he was moving to Florida with this new woman and left Brenda and my niece high and dry. Since she had supported me when I needed her, I was determined to be there for her. I knew just how hard being a single parent is and was there for her whenever she needed me. I pitched in where I could with getting my niece to school and also with homeschooling. Brenda bought a little fixer-upper house and we got it fixed up as nice as we could. Over the next year, we spent a ton of time together with our daughters, who are more like sisters than cousins. I haven't even dated anyone since I lost my wife as I've been too busy working and raising my daughter. Brenda is in the same boat as a single parent who gets nothing from her ex. I think she had a couple dates, but nothing ever really came of them. Over the course of last year, spending so much time with her, I realized that I had started to have much stronger feelings for her. I felt guilty about it and also scared of what she might say to me if I were to open up to her. Unbeknownst to me, she was struggling with the same feelings about me. Last December, I went to Brenda's place to fix a ceiling fan that was on the fritz and fix her kitchen sink. Once I was done, she hugged me. Then she really hugged me tighter than ever and told me she didn't know what she would do without me. I told her I don't know what I would do without her. We continued holding each other for a while and I said how nice it was to hold someone after so long. She agreed that it was nice being held. I asked her if it would be weird if I could just hold her for a while longer, and she said she'd like that very much. We sat on her sofa and just held each other for a long time. Later that night, she texted me and said how nice it was, and I texted back and said anytime she needed someone to hold her, I'd be there. Well, after that, we have been growing closer and closer. Finally, one night around New Year's, she asked me if I'd like to kiss her. I told her that yes, I did very much want to kiss her. We kissed for a while, then had a very long talk about our feelings for each other. I confessed that I loved her, and she confessed the same. I told her I would always love Cheryl and will never forget, but I really wanted to be with her. January is always very tough for us as that's the anniversary of Cheryl's passing. We sort of kept our newly revealed feelings quiet for a time. We texted a lot, spent time together with our daughters, but not much alone time. One day in February, we were once again doing our thing where we just held each other and we ended up sleeping together for the first time. For me, it was the first time in almost 5 years. I thought there would be guilt or sadness, but there wasn't. It just felt right. For the first month or so, we kept our relationship a secret for the most part. I confided in my oldest childhood friend, and Brenda told a couple of her friends. We decided a few weeks ago we were going to have to let people know. The first people we told were Brenda's parents. We made it clear that this is not something we ever intended to happen, it just developed over time. This is not some fling. We're both in this for the long haul. We also made it clear that neither of us is trying to forget Cheryl. Just the opposite. She is very much in our hearts and minds every day. Her parents were both very supportive of us. Of course, they had some questions for us, which we answered to the best of our ability. Last night, we told a cousin of Brenda and Cheryl, who is very close to them, almost a third sister. Her cousin was very happy for us and gave us both a big hug. She said she thought this might happen. Her cousin's husband, a big bodybuilder type, wrapped his arms around our shoulders and said, "I was shipping you two for the last couple years." We have also told Cheryl's best friend since childhood, who said she's very happy for us and thinks this would make Cheryl very happy. My family ranges from indifferent to negative. My mother told me that our relationship is inappropriate and we should be ashamed of ourselves. But then again, my mother is a nasty, spiteful woman who has never once in her life been able to be happy for me. My father has always been the same way. Too spineless to stand up to her and too worried about getting drunk to give a crap about his kids. I could go more into them, but I'm not very close to them and not really looking for their approval anymore. So for now, we've decided that we're going to alternate weekends at each other's houses before we figure out a permanent living arrangement. We'll have to figure this out before school starts next year. She says she doesn't want to pressure me, but I don't feel pressure at all. I just want us to be a family and live under one roof. Well, so far that's it for the start of our new little blended family. It was a long and difficult journey for us to get here. For right now, the four of us are happy and looking forward to spending time together and figuring out this whole crazy thing that life has given us. Well, OP, like you say, this is a blended family that you've got here, and you need to figure this out because it is crazy, but it is also uplifting. I think it's great that you and your sister-in-law found each other and are able to come together like this. You both know what the other is experiencing regarding the loss of Cheryl. So it's good support. The girls know each other, and your sister-in-law loves your daughter and you love your niece. So I think it's a really good setup. I think it's a huge positive that Cheryl's cousin, and in particular her parents, are very much on board with you guys and gave you their blessing. It sucks that your parents aren't on the same boat. In any case, that's not the end of this story, because OP has given us 2 updates. So let's continue with the first one. I guess we've come across our first couple of negative reactions to our relationship. One of Brenda's cousins told her that he finds the whole thing weird and he's not sure if he's okay with it. It upset her that he said this. She was also upset because her ex, Abby's father, called her yelling about child support. He does this once a month when he has to pay support. He claims it's ruining his lifestyle and that she's a greedy bitch who wants to live off of him. He's got a condo in Florida, a boat, and him and his girlfriend go on 2 vacations a year. The guy makes good money as an HVAC repairman and installer. Meanwhile, even with support, Brenda struggles a lot of the time. I told her she should ask him to waive his parental rights. He wanted to do it when they first got divorced, but Brenda didn't want him to out of hopes that he'd eventually want to be in his daughter's life. As it turns out, he's only seen her once in the last year for about 4 hours. He was supposed to spend the day with her, but brought her back home after 4 hours, and that was it. My older brother called me out of the blue. This is a guy I rarely talk to. He must have talked to our mom because he immediately warned me against getting involved with a woman who has a kid. His reason being that she's only looking for a father for the kid. I told him that's fine because I love her daughter like my own, and if she comes to think of me as her father, nothing would make me happier. Well, that didn't sit well with him, but I couldn't care less. I'm off work today and I'm going to have coffee with Brenda at her house. She works from home. When Zari and I were getting ready to leave her house last week, Brenda said she doesn't want to push me, but we're really going to have to figure out our living situation. We're going to talk about it today a bit. I'm hoping to have all of us under one roof before the girls go back to school in the fall. We're lucky in that even though we live in different suburbs, we share a school district, so neither girl is going to have to make new friends at school next year. We already planned our first family event next weekend for my birthday. Brenda and Abby are going to come to my place for the weekend, and Brenda and the girls are going to make me a cake. We're all going to have dinner together. My mother-in-law called me yesterday to ask if we wanted her to take the girls next weekend so Brenda and I could have a date night. It's very strange to think that all this has happened and she and I have never even been out alone together. Every time we've ever gone out to dinner or anything, it's been with our girls. We told my mother-in-law we'd take her up on her offer the following weekend since the girls are really excited to bake a birthday cake. I'm looking forward to spending time with all of them. It is hard to be apart Monday through Thursday every week. Well, OP, you can't always make everybody happy. I did really much enjoy, and it gave me a big chuckle, that the cousin said he might not be okay with this. Like, dude, who asked for your opinion and why do you think it's relevant to this whole situation? Oh no, please stop everything, OP, because one of the cousins might not be okay with this. And I gotta say, I very much enjoyed how you shut down your brother with his warnings. Regardless of the naysayers' opinions, it sounds like this thing is really working out for you guys and that you're really looking forward to being all under one roof. Now, as you all know, we still have one more update, so let's carry on with that. Thursday, Brenda and I had a really good talk about our living situation moving forward. We both think that her house is too small for all four of us to live. I was a bit nervous to bring this up because I know how attached she is to her house. She said she knows I have more room for all of us and the best decision is for all of us to live at my house. At my place, both girls can have their own rooms and Brenda can have the fourth bedroom for her office for work. We're going to see how that goes, and once we can sell her place, we'll decide if we want to look for a new house or just stay at my place. We decided we're going to tell the kids that soon we'll all be living together all the time. So this weekend was great. We had dinner together Friday night and watched a movie together. I worked Saturday and Brenda and the girls were going to bake me a birthday cake. However, they ended up burning the cake and having to go to the store to buy one. Brenda was pretty disappointed that her cake got burnt, but I told her in this family, we all know nothing's probably ever going to go to plan. After we ate dinner and cake, we played some games with the girls. After the girls went to bed, Brenda and I sat on the sofa cuddling and watching TV. She said it really made her feel good that I referred to all of us as a family. I told her of course we're a family. Maybe we're a bit different, but we're still a family. I won't get into details about how we spent the rest of my birthday evening. Brenda and Abby left a little while ago. It's getting harder and harder to say goodbye on Sunday evenings. I can't wait until we're all under one roof like a proper family. Next weekend I have vacation, so Brenda's parents are taking both of the girls Saturday evening so we can have a night out together. It's funny to think that we have spent countless hours together over the last few years. We've been through so much together and fell for each other at the same time, and we've never even been on anything resembling a date. I made us reservations at a nice steakhouse and hopefully I can show her a nice evening since she deserves it. We plan on talking to the girls in the next couple of weeks about us moving in together. It's going to be weird because I know that right now my daughter looks at Brenda as the one who will always say yes whenever she asks for something, and I know Abby looks at me the same way. It's going to be tough to get each of them to accept the other parent as an authority figure. And that's it so far. That's all we know from what OP has shared, but apparently things are moving in the right direction, and they've got a few challenges coming up, particularly with the kids and getting to live in the same house. But it seems like they're doing a good job. The support from Brenda's parents has been awesome, so props to them. And to you and Brenda OP, all the best in the future. Hopefully it'll all work out great and you guys can be living together before the girls start school. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.